Hello and welcome to the show. I'm your host, and today we have a video from Ace Nate.
Doesn't take a genius to figure out how a woman like this remains unmarried, even though she clearly doesn't want to be.
I'm 36 years old and unmarried, and I've been reflecting on that a lot lately, just like as I get older, why that's the case. And there's a lot of reasons, I think, but I'm going to start sharing a couple of them with you.
Yes, we're all clueless as to why so many women today aren't marriage material, and it's definitely not something we've already figured out.
One of them being I once went on a date with somebody to go kayaking, and I always wear sunscreen. Like, I'm very good about my sun protection. I grew up on the beach. I have to see my dermatologist once a year now to get stuff removed because I was very irresponsible when I was younger. Anyway, so I'm very good now about wearing sunscreen.
Okay, so with a history like that, it makes it even more important that she wears sunscreen, especially if she's going to be out on kayaks all day.
But we went on this date, and before we got in the kayak, he looked at me and goes, "You should put on sunscreen." And I don't know if it was the delivery or the fact that I just really don't like being told what to do, ever. I refused. I was like, absolutely not. No. And I got sun poisoning because we were on kayaks for 4 hours.
Well, you sure showed him, didn't you, sweetheart? Yeah, she's definitely not a complete moron for letting her ego lead her to sun poisoning, especially knowing she already has skin issues from sun exposure and still refused. Thank you for staying single. Sounds like my 3-year-old. Quote, I'm a 36-year-old child. You answered your question about being 36 and unmarried.
I honestly do not understand all those people who can't take any advice or any help from anybody. Like, oh, my ego is so big, I can't let anybody tell me what to do. Like, the guy was trying to help you. Like, but in the same time, I think there's probably guys out there who like know this and use it for their own advantage. And the first thing what comes to mind, like, what if I tell this lady, don't freaking kiss me, or something on those lines? What would she do then? Right?
Okay, wow. I hit a nerve with my last video. So let's talk about it, okay? First off, I was laughing at myself, and I think everybody should it from time to time. So don't take things too seriously, guys.
Well, the same reason she thinks it's ridiculous enough to laugh at is the same reason everyone else is clowning on her for it. So notice the gaslighting right away.
You know, I was going to wear the sunscreen anyways because I'm an adult. Uh, and the thing is the way it was delivered to me wasn't, oh, I have sunscreen, would you like some? It was, do this, put this on. And I don't like being spoken to as if I'm a child, because I'm not a child, I'm an adult.
I don't know if she realizes this, but children often react the same way she did in that moment. And since her view of what he said hasn't actually changed, is she really laughing at herself or just doubling down?
Let me fix you a little bit here. I don't think children per se act like this, but teenagers on their rebellious stage act like this. So she's proving that most of the ladies stay in the teenage years, especially the pretty ones, because they never grow up, because they get everything easy and everything for free, and they never have to work for anything. Am I right or am I right?
This is something that I have learned as I've gotten older. You know, I've learned a lot about who I am as a person, but I also have learned a lot about what I'm looking for as far as marriage goes and what I want out of that. Part of it is an equal partnership. Like, when I think of marriage, I am thinking of somebody who is my equal.
The use of partner, it's gay, it's feminist, and here it was used to remove accountability because she justified her childish tantrum by claiming she only responded that way because she wants a partner. She's totally a scapegoat. They'll claim they want an equal partner, but consciously or not, they assume the position of wearing the pants and expect the man to be the more docile one. This is the dynamic people have been psyoped into becoming accustomed to. It's backwards and not aligned with natural order, And many women like her expect that dynamic.
I want to be treated with respect, and I want to be treated as the adult that I am and the contributor of the partnership in equal ways. Now, that's a lot to take from that video, but I actually ended up dating that person for a really long time. And to everybody who said, like, oh, he dodged a bullet, I'm an absolute delight, by the way, okay? So
his only mistake was not dumping her after the sunscreen debacle. But at some point, we have to tell these types of women they might be better off dating women. I mean, since they're so dead set on dating their equal. So either try that or grow up and accept that men and women are biologically opposite, not equal, and just accept you're a woman and ditch the Frankenstein masculinity.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. If you want to date somebody of your equal, why you not dating women? Like, leave the guys alone. Like, leave us alone. We don't need that kind of people in our lives. I'm really trying to stay polite here. I'm really trying. This is very, but it's really interesting because on Offset she's actually looking like a nice person. But let's see where this goes.
I actually think he was a good guy, but we had some fundamental differences about what a partnership looks like, and he had a very difficult time compromising, and that is something that I require in a relationship. I require compromise and equal decision making, and not everybody wants to do that, and that does get a little bit harder as you get older to find that, because some people are really stuck in their ways.
Yeah, this is a woman who will not be able to sustain a relationship unless she's with a doormat, because any assertiveness or active voice, she'll label it as talking down to her or denying her equality.
I'm not going to be a submissive woman, and I'm not going to be comfortable being coddled, and it doesn't matter the quality of life that's provided to me. Like, you could provide me with the most amount of princess treatment in the world, and at the end of the day, I would be unhappy.
Yeah, I've got a suspicion she will always struggle with happiness. And let's say she does get married. Like, come on, guys, what do you think the chances are she eventually initiates a divorce?
Say what you want about marriage, and people are very happy being single, but I do want to get married. I just have a different version of what I think that should look like and what I want it to look like. I'll keep dating, and I certainly have learned my lesson. I do not respond to people who talk to me like a child with childlike defiance anymore.
The fact that she still references that moment as being spoken to like a child, well, that tells me the only lesson she learned is if she were put in that exact scenario with the sunscreen again, she just wouldn't choose sun poisoning over putting it on. That doesn't say much. The clock is ticking for her, and her terms aren't changing, so you do the math.
Yeah, obviously, it's so clear that her body language and the tone of her voice is so different from the first video to the second video. And it's so obvious that she only did the second video because she got a backlash from the first video. If she had like all the sisterhood going, "Oh, you go girl," you know, this kind of feedback, then the second video would be so much different, because it was interesting that in the first video she didn't say, she kept on dating that guy for a long time. But in the same, what is long time for her? Like 2 months, probably 3 months. What is long time for her? It's really, really interesting to see sometimes this kind of clips, and thank you, Ace Nate, for putting those two clips together. It makes so much sense. Like, yeah, the chances of her initiating a divorce is probably around 99%. So if you see this and you see this kind of a same red flags in your lady, keep that in mind, and remember, for me, I have always told the potential ladies, at least the last 5+ years, that I'm not interested in marriage. I am not, because it has zero benefits for us guys, like zero. There's no benefits, because you still will get cheated on, The same way if you're not married, but you just lose all your finances, right? Anyway, this is it for this video. I really enjoyed it. Ace Nate did a good job again. And if you reach this far, give me a sub and leave a comment on what you think. See you on the next one. Bye bye bye.